Good.
We have. Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and/or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and/or nonprofits. It's that time again. It's the Happy Hour with your host, Dr. Paul, and his lovely wife, the patient, the adorable Miss Nancy Collins. So see who their guest is today. Take it away, Dr. Paul.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Hour broadcast with old Dr. Paul and sweet little Miss Nancy. We have a great guest today. You're going to really enjoy today's program. So get pencil and paper ready so that you can take down some information and be ready to tell a friend, because not only are we live right now over several medias, but we need over several media, I should say, but we will be replayed and replayed and replayed. Matt, last Tuesday, I was a guest on Spirit in America Hour, hosted by Randy Barr. Received word from Dr. Whining, president of Acts Ministry and Acts Media Group, that we had 2,500 people instantly, and then it grew to 5,000, and it's still growing. So we are international and a lot of coverage, that's for sure. Well, anyway, I'm always fond of telling people it's Friday again. Comes around this same time every week. I'm going to do something different today.
Uh-oh.
I'm wearing a red, white, and blue shirt, because this is July 3rd when this is being done live and recorded. And I'm wearing real light blue cord trousers. If we had full-length TV cord.
Like corduroy?
Yeah. No, they're not corduroy. They call them cords. If we had full-length television, I am dressed for the 4th of July. Now, here's something new. Seldom happens anywhere. I have to take my earphones off to do this. Now you can say you have seen old Dr. Paul wearing a hat.
Now we got to do is get you to not shave for a month and then put the hat on.
Well, I am not a member of Duck Dynasty yet, but you're getting there.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes, I am.
You've seen the hat. Tell your friends, tell everybody, and tell them look in, because they'll be able to see me wear a hat. First and last time on TV.
I doubt it'll be the last time.
Well, I've been known to prevaricate, which is, sometimes not tell the exact truth, just kind of beat around the edges. Our guest today, Shirley Simpson in St. Joe, is a lady that I wish you could meet her in person, because she lives in Marshfield, east of Springburg, USA, about, 25 miles, something like that. And her name is Michelle Obermeyer, and she has a very unique cafe. And Jerry Chambers in St. Louis area, Chesterfield, you ever pass by Marshfield, get off I-44, and you will find her cafe. We're going to tell you about it in just a minute. And all of our other friends. Now, Judy Nickel, if you come back to this area, run over to Marshfield. You leave Texas, come back, you know where Springfield is, used to live here, and go over east to Marshfield. You've been there. Go into this cafe. Now, same thing, Galen Garrett down there in Dallas Metroplex. When you come back to Springfield, stop off for a minute and run on over to Marshfield. All of our friends out there. If you are some of those in France, il est très bonjour aujourd'hui, n'est-ce pas, mes amis? Be sure, when you come to Springburg, USA, you come to Springburg, USA, run over to Marshfield to the cafe. Our German friends, be sure and do it. We need to have people here who speak German. All I know is ziemlich gut alderweil. Yeah, that's all I know. Well, another country, Germany, was just heard from. How about South America, Mexico? Can you do a little of that?
South America, Mexico?
Yeah.
Órale, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo está usted, mi amigo? Yes.
Paul es muy loco de la
Tacos,
cabeza.
tostadas,
I think I just said Paul is crazy in the head. I think.
How about, no, agua en la cabeza, water on the brain.
Water on the brain, or loco en la cabeza.
Quesada, I know nothing. Quesada. I told
quesadilla,
you I was learning.
I love quesadillas.
You learned to say what?
I said I love quesadillas.
Quesadilla?
Isn't that what you just said?
No dice nada. I know nothing. No DC nada. I learned that from a church member I had in St. Joe who was from Mexico. And by the way, there is a difference between Mexico and South America.
Oh, yeah.
I want to clear that up. All right, here we
Technically,
go.
Mexico is part of North America, isn't it?
Central America.
Central.
Yes,
Central America.
yes. Okay, here we go. Miss Michelle,
It's going to be fun today.
welcome to the happy hour. Now you know why it's the happy hour.
Yep.
Okay,
'Cause
tell us
it's piled
about
high and deep.
her cafe is Polymath Restaurant or Polymath Restaurant. Is that what you call it?
Polymath Educational Cafe.
Polymath Educational Cafe. Okay. Tell us about Polymath Educational Cafe in Marshfield, Missouri.
Well, this is our third year,
Third year.
and we sell plant-based, vegan, vegetarian type.
Get
food.
that microphone over there.
We sell plant-based, vegan, vegetarian type foods, and recently we've had a lot of people that are coming in on specialty diets. We'll cook for them. They'll tell me what they're allowed to eat or not eat. You know, if there are no salt diets or gluten-free diets or you know, they can have potassium, different stuff. So we do a lot of specialty orders for people.
And now, what you're saying to me is vegan.
Yes.
All right. I was a vegan for about 15 months because I needed to heal myself of coronary artery disease. At the recommendation of Dr. Caldwell Esselton Jr., he's now about my age, about 85, and he was the retired cardiologist, head of that department at Cleveland Clinic, and it worked. And I lost weight, and I felt better. And I told people, don't be afraid to try something vegan because it's delicious food.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it
Okay,
is. Yeah, hang in there.
plant-based.
People need to know that diet that Paul was on, that Dr. Esselton tried, he ended up going to the Cleveland Clinic board. He got 20 people that were not going to live.
That's Dr. Esselton. As he
Yes.
was retiring,
Yes.
he asked the hospital board to get if he could approach all of those who were
There was,
hopeless,
that's right. Doesn't matter what they did.
That's
and there were
impressive.
22 of them actually.
Yeah,
And this has been back 20 years ago,
yeah.
and they were people like in middle age and so forth. None of them died of heart disease.
No.
In fact, 3 or 4 years ago, all of them were, except one was still alive, and that person didn't die from heart disease.
Yeah, that's awesome. All because of the diet.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I want to say to our viewers, listen, I understand. I'm from the rural area of Missouri, which is right in the middle of the United States, and now here I'm in southwest Missouri, which is really the Ozarks, part of the Ozarks, Ozark Mountain Country, and we like our meat and potatoes and gravy and
that's
all that kind of stuff. I know that, but don't get turned off by the idea of veganism, which means no meat. Dr. Esselton would say, don't eat anything with a face or a mother,
And what else did he say?
and none of their products. So
Right.
That's
no
right.
dairy, no meat, no eggs, no cheese, no milk, and so forth.
He said no oil either.
Well,
in any way, shape, or form.
In Esselton's diet, now
For that,
probably with your veganism doesn't mean you can't have good oil like olive oil or something.
No, but there are plant-based people that don't use any oil, and I know Dr. McDougall was out in California,
Right.
and he started the plant-based diet with no oils
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 years ago, and he's still around.
Right. Well, I used to watch Dr. McDougall, John McDougall, on TV quite a bit. And back when I was a vegan, I communicated with him via email. And he was very nice, very gracious. And he's a very successful MD, that's for sure. But Dr. Esselton thought that and taught that any oil, even sprays, were bad for the endothelial lining of the arteries. And now we're not giving medical advice. I want to hastily tell you that.
That's right.
We're not even trying to tell you how to eat. We're just bringing out some stuff here that for information. But anyway, now if I use a spread, It is a plant-based spread. I'm going to tell you what I had for my quick little breakfast this morning in order to get here and be energized. And you can tell me I was right or wrong. You're going to be the judge of my breakfast. I
Okay.
had multigrain Ezekiel bread, salt-free, as a piece of toast, and a small old-time cafe glass, about so tall, so big around, with almond milk. That was my breakfast.
So how do you feel?
Do what?
How do you feel?
I feel great.
Well, good.
I can assure you, I will not be hungry until noon, and my body clock will say it's time to eat.
Well, I brought you food, so you have plenty to eat.
Okay, let's get to the subject of what you brought. All right, show us, Michelle, and remember you'll have to speak up because otherwise
Use my
people.
loud voice.
Otherwise,
I have a loud voice. I'm Italian.
oh, Italiano, huh? Spaghetti.
No, I didn't make any spaghetti.
That's the only Italian I know. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the first thing I brought in that we sell a lot of is and I might want to let you know that on YouTube, almost all the stuff here, we have the recipes for people can watch and see how to make.
That's awesome.
Yeah, over COVID, my daughters and I, they film me, and we put all the recipes on. So we just try to share as much as we can.
All
It's
right.
not like secrets.
Wonderful.
So this is a chickpea sandwich, and I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you're trying to see it. But it's made with garbanzo beans, chickpeas,
Yeah.
and little celery, little garlic and stuff. And it's one of our top sellers. You notice on bread, we also offer gluten-free option bread, or some people will make it as a salad if they have to avoid gluten or bread or carbs. One of our more popular ones is the tempeh sandwich I brought you. And tempeh is from Indonesia. It's
No.
a fermented soybean.
Tempeh. Tell us more about that. A lot of folks probably never heard of it.
Well, people really like it, and it's from Indonesia. It's a fermented soybean, so it's supposed to be pretty good for you with a fermentation on it.
Okay.
And you can do lots of different things. I sell it either with a little bit of Veganese mayo and tomato and lettuce, or barbecue sauce and onions. A lot of people will eat that.
Wow.
By the way, I'm sure a lot of our audience relates to the happy hour and fermentation. Just saying. Just saying. Now
it's
you
not-
remember
it's-
about tempeh.
It's not that kind of fermentation.
It's not that kind of fermentation.
And then this is one of our more popular salads. We sell it with a pecan vinaigrette or raspberry vinaigrette.
Oh, yeah.
And it has bell peppers, peas, lettuce. This one has pecans, garbanzo beans. It's called the polymath salad, and we make it with whatever we happen to have that day.
Hand that to me, would you please?
Yes.
I want you all to be sure and see this. Matt, am I on camera? Real good? I want people to see it. That's a beautiful salad. I'm a salad fan.
Yeah, I sell quite a bit of those.
Oh, I would imagine you
They've
do.
got yellow raisins in them, and
Oh,
they've got all kinds of stuff. And it's always slightly different because it depends what we happen to have.
that is beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, that's for you, so you can keep it. You don't have to hand it back.
Now, show me one of those. Show me one of those sandwiches. I want to hold it up so they can see it real good, because that's worth looking at.
I don't want to touch any of the food I'm giving
No.
you to eat.
Let's see if you can catch a glimpse of that. Do you?
If you take the top off, you can see the.
Yeah, there you go. There you. Isn't that great? That's beautiful. Smells delicious. Ooh, stay away,
Tasty.
Steve McAllister. Don't you come near this table. Steve's in our audience, so we have a live audience of Steve McAllister, and you brought someone with you too, Michelle.
Yeah, Carolyn.
Carolyn. Now, is Carolyn your sister?
She's my friend.
Oh, okay, a friend. All right. Well, Carolyn, we're glad that you're here in our audience. That's beautiful stuff. Now, what have we got here?
Well, this one, we sell a couple different kinds of cinnamon rolls. My daughter makes these. And we get a lot of people in that can't have dairy. We use the avocado margarine for it, and we use the
Exactly.
cashew milk, which has a beta almond in it. So we do. Some people still want sweets, but we get quite a few people that can't have dairy.
Yeah.
So, and then we
Well,
do
now
sell.
about that avocado, I must tell you, Jim Whining, Pam Whining, keep that in mind. I know you're fans of avocados. I know
I'm
that.
fans of avocados.
Are you too? Well, you know where
Can't have
Marshfield
the
is.
bread, but I can eat avocados. That's part of the good fats that I can have.
Right, okay. Well, remember it, Dr. Wining and your wife Pam, Marshfield, Poly Math Educational Cafe.
Yep, got it.
All right, now, what else we got here,
It-
Michelle?
This is this is a plant-based company that also does gluten-free, and it's cheddar flavored. It's not from cheese, but it's cheddar flavored, plant-based, and it's also gluten-free. So we get a lot of people that come in that can't do the gluten, and so we offer snacks, especially when they're driving through. There's not a lot of places to stop.
Yeah.
We also have the cookies are also gluten-free. And these are kind of interesting story. The lady that invented them for her daughter that was a cyclist, did cyclist racing, and wanted something that could give a little energy. So we sell this, comes in several different ones, and it's also a gluten-free cookie.
My goodness.
Huh.
And we hand make a, I don't know if you've heard of the Daniel Fast that a lot of
Yes.
churches do around
Yes.
here.
Mm-hmm.
We came up with a cookie, and that's on our website too, how to make the Daniel Fast cookie. It is basically, we get the gluten-free oats, so it'll also, even though oats are gluten-free, you have to get the ones that aren't grown by where the gluten could blow on them. So we get the gluten-free oats with the pecans and the organic ripe bananas, and we mix it together and bake it. And they're really good, and we call them Daniel breakfast bars. We get a lot of people that will take them with them and eat, especially if they're working out in the fields or whatever they're doing.
The Daniel fast, folks, you'll find it in the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. It's not hard to find. Just find Psalms, which is kind of the middle of your Bible, and then just keep moving to the right, and you in a little while you'll come to Daniel. And the Daniel fast is in there. My recollection about the Daniel fast was during one of our annual Acts Ministry conventions we call Acts Fest. We had a lady, well-known, worldwide violinist, and she was playing a violin that was valued about $500,000, and she wanted to meet me for lunch because there was someone in this area that she was concerned about, and we were at a buffet, and she was on the Daniel fast, and I would imagine she's probably on it to this day because it is a sustainable diet, is it not?
It's pretty close to plant-based. It's no processed food at all. It's not eating processed food. No meat and dairy.
Good.
So it's very close to a vegan diet. And a lot of the churches do it, I think, for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Now, what have you got here in this?
This is our pasta salad. It's a sweet one, and it's secret. This is also on how to make it if you want to go to YouTube. Its secret ingredient is maple syrup. Let's put a little bit of yellow raisins in it. It's got all kinds of different vegetables, celery, carrots.
Wow.
So we sell a lot of this.
I thought my breakfast was going to last till noon. I'm not sure now. Let me see that. I want to look at that close.
I forgot to bring you guys spoons so you
I'm
guys
a-
can taste some of
I'm a
this.
fan of pasta. It's a weakness.
I have people from Springfield that come up and buy a couple huge containers of it every weekend.
That looks good. I wish this was where we could just zoom in on this. Boy, that looks really good, really good. Now you've got something over there.
This is interesting. I don't know how many of you guys have ever heard of mung beans. This is another newer company, and they make crunchers. And it's gluten-free also. We have a lot of gluten-free snacks, so it's pretty nice for people to come in. And it is made from mung beans. So this little container here holds 7 grams of protein.
My goodness.
So it's pretty good. And this one's a smoky balsamic and the sea salt, and they have a couple other ones. But I have some of the people that will get the, they can't do the gluten, and they'll get the chickpea salad that I make and sprinkle that on top.
Okay, now I'm going to give her time to regroup, and I've got some things here to talk about as our break time concerning the upcoming Axe Fest, which, by the way, folks, be sure and tell a friend, have them spread the word here and look at this broadcast because this is important information. Axe Fest has been shortened this year because of the coronavirus or COVID-19. It's down to 2 days, and instead of being a lot of big meetings, they're very small meetings. July 17 and 18, or Thursday and Friday, 16 and 17, July 16
Yeah.
and 17, just around the corner. Now, the sessions will be here in this building, Plaza Towers, 1736 East Sunshine, Springfield, Missouri, 65804, Suite 216, and then we also will be using a conference room that you'll learn about later. Anyway, the Plaza Towers is on the southwest corner of East Sunshine and South Glenstone. It's one of the busiest intersections in the state of Missouri, even to this day. So you can see it. It's a 10-story building. And that's where we are located right now, here in, I fondly call it Springburg, USA. My favorite adopted city. Axe Fest, July 16 and 17. Because of limited seating, you must have reservations. There will be workshops on Thursday and Friday, and to participate and get all the value of these workshops, there's a $25 per day registration fee that has to be paid via PayPal. It is not complicated. You don't have to have a PayPal account. Go to the website, axmediagroup.com, ACTS, axmediagroup.com, and on PayPal, you're able to use your credit card. So that way, you will be registered. Now, there's a reason for this, and it has to do with the COVID-19 and being able to track the people who attend. Now, there's a limit. There's only 20 people who can participate, 10 in each session, and we'll have 2 sessions going. And so there's going to be, Matt, how many different classes about? While you're thinking about that, I'll finish telling them this. Go ahead.
Well, I've got everything figured out here.
Okay.
I wanted to make it a point to let you guys know that in regards to the PayPal registration fee, it's as simple as going on there. Of course, you put in like the $25 per day. So if you're going to come to both days worth of events, you'll want each day. You do it each day separately. Do $25 first day, $25 the second day. But you go to PayPal, you hit, you type in $25, and then that'll take you over to where there's add a note underneath how much you're going to be, how much you're sending in via PayPal, and you'll want to put, okay, we've got on day 1, that's July 16th, we got number 101, preaching and teaching on social media.
That's good.
Subject 102, keeping meetings safe with Rita Sanders, Esquire.
Yeah, now she's a lady lawyer with a law enforcement background. She's going to tell it about security.
All right. Subject 103 is going to be the history of Christian morals and ethics with Pastor Billy Burris. And subject 104, writing as a Christian tool with Dr. Paul C. Collins. That's yourself.
Yes.
And day 2, July 17th, subject 201. Okay, so what you want to do if you're going to do the whole day, go on there and for add a note, put Axe Fest registration, and then put number 101, 102, 103, and 104, and that takes care of the whole entire day. And you will not be even let in the door if you don't register for this. And then day number 2, we got 201. Sorry, I'm taking up all your time.
That's
here,
right.
But, subject 201, protecting your ministry in the 21st century. By Dr. James R. Whining will be doing that one. Subject 202, financial alternatives with Tony Hammock. Subject 203, 21st century leadership, and that's with Missouri State Representative Lynn Morris. And then subject 204, Christian business nonprofits with Becky Code, Andrea Carter, Ladina Boo, and Dennis Everson. So you'll want to come in now. The way it's going to work is each one that we do, we're going to be broadcasting it live. So if you can't make it in, but you still want credit for actually being here, register through PayPal, watch it on Facebook and YouTube because we're going to be broadcasting those live. And then after that, we're also going to go upstairs to room 304, I believe. I
That's
better
right.
make sure of that. And then we're going to do it live there. People are going to be sitting there so that way, you don't have to worry about watching it because you're going to be there and see it live. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to make sure if you have any questions, you can certainly get a hold of us on Facebook. You can, email me at pearsonmatthew622@gmail.com, and or go online to axmediagroup.com. You'll go up to the top where it's you click on the menu. Let me double check and make sure where I'm going here. You go up, like whenever you first pull up axmediagroup.com, you'll see Axe Ministry Home up top. Hover over that, and you'll see Axe Ministry Axe Fest. Click on that. It'll take you right to the page. Read everything on there, and it'll also even give you a link to go directly to YouTube or PayPal to be able to register there. So, back to you, Dr. Paul.
All right. Now, these young guys, they understand all of that stuff that Matt was talking about. For us mature people, I tell you, it's very simple. Axe Fest is Thursday and Friday, July 16 and 17. If you want to be a participant and learn some really good stuff relative not only to clergy, but to laity concerning safety and writing and etc., go online and check it all out. And if you have problems, get in touch via email or phone, text message, or whatever it takes with Matt and find out, because you will get your $25 per day worth. And then there's also the possibility, which you'll find, of getting some credits for these courses through Axe Ministry University. Now, the one that I'm doing on writing will be very, just as an example, will be pretty inclusive, because I will not only talk about the proper way to do some texting and to do email, I'll also talk about how to write an op-ed, it's called. That is an opinion piece to send to a local newspaper. I'll talk about the importance of grammar and punctuation if you really want the professionals to pay attention to you. And I'll also tell you how to publish books, how to write them, how to publish them. I wrote this book in 2005. It's entitled Embraced by the Spirit. And I'm going to be redoing it because I've learned a lot since then. But I have published books for 6, 7, 8 other authors, and I know how to do it. And I will tell you how to write a book, how to get it published, and so forth in this writing class. Now, anyone who's going to have entrance to these workshops, to Axe Fest, will be tested on their way into the building. They'll have all according to the Center for Disease Control and the regulations of Greene County, the state of Missouri, Greene County, and Springfield, Missouri. Your temperature will be taken, just like you would be going into the doctor's office, the little machine put up against, close to your forehead. There will be masks available. There will be hand cleaner. Every protocol that the state, the county, and the city require will be observed. Now, if by chance you do not get all this, or you get it too late to register and pay your money, you can show up, be tested, and if there's room, a vacant spot in one of these workshops, you'll be able to get in. This thing is very valuable, very valuable. And before you leave here today, I'll be signing this for you.
Oh, okay.
And here's what I tell folks that I give this to. I sign it and I date it. You hang on to it, because I might become famous and die, and then it'll be worth a lot of money. Can you imagine?
Make sure I keep
Now,
track of it.
got to keep it happy. We're all going to die. One time I started a sermon, came up into the pulpit. I stepped in the pulpit, had a big wide smile on my face. I said, I have good news. You're all going to die. Well, it's inevitable. Might as well make it good news. It's a happy hour. All right, back to Michelle. You have given us so much. We need to know, how do we find Polymath Educational Cafe? How do we find you in Marshfield?
Well, it's pretty easy. If you're on Highway I-44, it's exit 100, so it's pretty easy exit. And then you'd go towards the Super Walmart there.
Okay.
And right, if you see Don Vance Ford, you turn right there, and there's Gordon Feed, and it's McNabb Road, 381 McNabb Road. We're the big red building with cafe written in orange letters.
Okay, now, does that put you like on the east side of the street of the main. I call it the main drag there. From when you-
Highway 38?
Yeah. Does that put you on the east side of that?
Yes.
I know where you are. I made trips through there for 5 years and 1 month, but who's counting? Every Sunday and every Wednesday, every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, and every Wednesday night, because I was pastor of a little church out on 38 and Highway C, Prospect.
No, I think Carolina's the west side, right?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, yeah, it's the west side.
Yeah,
See,
that's
remember
I
where
realized-
Walmart is, Paul? When you're going to, it's on
the
your
old
left
the old
side.
Walmart.
No, yeah, it's the new Walmart. We're by the Super Walmart.
Oh, really? Well, then
Yeah.
I've got to come over there and locate you.
You'd
Tell
be
us that-
going when you get off. You'd go to the east side, and you'd be heading towards like Elkland, Buffalo. You'd go heading that
Yeah.
way. If you're coming from Springfield, you'd be kind of almost like U-ing it around when you get on Highway 38. If you're
Okay.
coming from St. Louis.
Okay, here's some directions. Come on, it's all right. You can step on.
Oh,
in.
he should just give me the directions.
All
here.
right, give us to them real good there.
Okay, so exit 100. So if
Okay.
you're coming from Springfield, you're going to turn left at the light, and then you're going to make another left, and it's going to be the second right on McNabb Road. It's going to be right
Okay.
by Don Vance Ford there.
Okay.
And Gordon Feed. If you go down, you'll see CHC Home Center. You'll see Marshfield Rental. You'll see a veterinary clinic. We're right across from the vet. We're right next door to Marshfield Rental, and we're catty corner from the Crosscut
Okay.
home store. If you're going from St. Louis,
Mhm.
you'd get right off the freeway and then
Yeah.
make your left. Yeah, so it would be off of East 38.
Well, if people can find Walmart Supercenter and Don Vance Ford, they're bound to find the big red building that says Polymath Educational Cafe.
Yeah.
And that will stand out because how many cafes do you know or restaurants named Polymath? Tell us why that name.
Actually, there's a couple other ones named Polymath.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that shows how limited my experience is. Well,
And I actually have a lot of people that come in and they'll tell me they're polymaths.
oh,
But it's not as common a word around here. One time I had to make a phone call, I think it was in Pennsylvania, and they needed to know the name of the company. And I said, Polymath Cafe. And they're like, what a great name. And I said, you know what it means? She goes, oh, yeah, we have a lot of polymaths. A lot of them are musicians. She starts telling me about all the polymath community on the East Coast. But poly means many, and math
Right.
means learning.
uh-huh.
So learning many things. So people like Einstein, or I used to have a lot of the high school kids had drawn and painted a lot of polymath pictures for the walls, but they ended up taking them down to bring for college. I think one of the girls got into art school with hers. I mean, she used other stuff too, but she used it for her portfolio. But so it's just a person that likes to do many things. It's kind of like a jack of all trades or a renaissance. And I used to do photography, and I'm a math specialist. I was a math specialist.
You
and
were in education, right?
I'm still in education. I do adult high school. I teach adult high school at night now.
I see.
And then just done a lot of different things. When I used to work for AOL, the online company, I was at all platforms computer tech. So just somebody that likes to do a lot of things and puts a lot of effort into it. So I'm not as great as most of the polymaths. If you Google polymath, though, you can see current polymaths. And it is, though, if there are some articles saying they're worried there's not enough polymaths anymore. People are getting to, when you're just into one thing and you're not too, what's that word called? I can't think that word's called. When you focus on just one thing instead of more broad.
Right.
And so they're saying that, especially this day and age, it's better to be a polymath because people are going to change careers a lot more than they used to.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. You'll have to come back sometime so we can dig more deeply into this. That's for sure. Because this is new territory. We've got some folks like myself haven't been exposed to this concept of polymath in this way. But you have an educational background in math, right? And being Italian, I love to do this to guests. I guess you know about Fibonacci.
Yes, but don't
See
ask
there,
me to
see there. I knew she would know about Fibonacci.
but I haven't, don't, I haven't been done
That's
that.
all. I'm not going to ask you
Yes,
details.
yeah,
Don't
don't
ask
ask-
me details. I just know there's a Fibonacci principle, and he was an Italian, and he lived a long time ago. And it's applicable to the stock market. That's where I know Fibonacci, his principles involving the stock market. Now, here's another one for a person with a math background. There, I understand. I was not good at math. I understand there's a difference between math and arithmetic. I hope that there is because I'm pretty good at arithmetic, but I was never any good at math.
Were you thinking of the basic functions as opposed to some of the higher level?
Right. Well, math had to. There were
There are two different ways of thinking.
there were like word problems with math
Oh.
and that kind of thing. But now, see, when I went to school, remember, I'm 85 years old, so I went to school in the old days.
When it was dirt.
Dirt was young. We had flashcards to learn multiplication tables and all that. We learned multiplication, division. We learned addition, subtraction, and we had homework every night. We had a lot of problems, just to, and so I know the multiplication tables, and I can add, and I can add usually a column of figures faster than somebody messing with a machine. Now, you're too young. Everybody watching is too young to remember Lum and Abner.
I am too young.
Lum and Abner did a 15-minute
Oh, yeah.
short in movies back when I was a kid. Lum was a big, tall, skinny guy with a mustache, and Abner was a little short guy, and they were old men. He had a mustache. They had a general store about the size of the studio, and it was called Lum and Abner's Jot 'em Down store. And they would come in and they would write down what people were buying, and they would lick their pencil and add it up. One day, Lum came in with this newfangled machine, and Abner wanted to know what it was. He said, well, it's an adding machine. You just press these buttons and then pull that crank. And a lot of people haven't even seen those. But so Abner was upset about that. So they laid out a bunch of merchandise and had a little contest. And while Lum is looking the price up and pressing buttons doing this, Abner's licking his pencil, adding them up, and Abner won. He beat the adding machine.
I believe I've raised students a lot. I've let them even use calculators, and I tell them if you learn to add in your head, you can do it faster. And I haven't been beat
Yes.
yet,
Well, I'm so glad to hear you say
but
that.
I'm not racing you right now.
Now, you, so you're still teaching some adult classes then?
Yeah, the Goodwill Center here in Springfield has adult high school classes, and it's really nice. And so they can get their high school diploma.
Wow.
Well, that's great. That's
so
great.
it's a really good program, and there's
Okay.
4 Goodwills that have that.
I want to get back to your cafe. What's the phone number if people want to? Because, well, first of all, I want to know, when are you open for business?
Well, due to COVID, our hours have been kind of shrunk down.
Okay.
We 10 to 1 is our listed hours. We're usually there earlier or later. Most people will call and let us know if they're coming in or call in an order. Most people have been ordering, either through Facebook or calling or through texting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been kind of hard. We're closed on Sundays.
Okay. But Monday through Saturday, 6 days
Right.
a week, basically 10 to 1
Right for right now, yeah. Until
for right now. And how many people can you have in there at one time right now?
Well, we have a separate dining room too, so it would depend, if we open that up we can have more. But we've been 12 would be probably 12 to 15 would be the maximum with both dining rooms open. But we've been mostly still encouraging people to do curbside pickup
Okay.
or just pick up.
But if there's somebody that had a small group of 7 or 8 people and they call a few days in advance,
Yeah, well, what some of the people do is, and a lot of times we'll do it during not our regular business hours either, so we don't have to worry about any going over the capacity.
okay. Now, what's your phone number that they can reach
It's
you?
417-468-2032.
All right, let's repeat it again.
417-468-2032.
All right, make a note of that, folks, so that you can get a reservation in go to Marshfield. It's just east of Springburg, USA, about 25 miles. Get off of the interstate, and you'll see on your way in, if you're going there from Springfield, you'll see Don Vance Automobile Agency, and you'll see the supermarket, Supercenter, Walmart, and you'll find it. You'll find the Polymath Educational Cafe, but make your reservation ahead of time and get in there with this delicious food. The phone number again, area code 417. The number is 468-2032. Now, if they want to find you online, Facebook, is that where you have?
Well, we're a couple places. On Facebook, we're Polymath Ed, POLYMATHED. And so if they just look for that on
Polymath
Facebook, they
Ed
can
on
find it and like us, and that
Okay.
would be great.
Okay.
Our website is www.polymathedcafe.com.
All right. Polymathedcafe.com and Facebook and on the website. Now, how long have you been doing this? Like 3 years?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I imagine you have a pretty solid local following of folks that are particularly fond of your style of food, I would say.
When we first opened, it was a little bit hard to get some of the local people, and they weren't used to eating as much vegetables and fruit. But a lot of them now, actually, I think, come up to Springfield and get a lot of food too, because they said they've learned to eat a lot of different types of thing. It exposes them, because we cook a lot of different type. We do specialties sometimes too, and I cook a lot of different. Make lasagna, or make some Asian stuff, or make a lot of. I make pasoli, which has got the green chili. I'm originally from New Mexico.
You're not only offering food, you're offering an experience.
Yeah, a lot of people really like coming in and trying new things. A lot of them haven't had they haven't had hominy with the green chili. Green chili's not real big around here. We make a lot of different things. Our actual chili has garbanzo beans in it, which is new for people, and it also has bell pepper and celery to add a little bit more of your vegetables in while you're eating the chili.
And while they're there, I take it they're sort of surrounded by some artwork too, aren't they?
Well, in the smaller dining room, we have a lot of the kids' artwork. That's where we keep a lot of the kids' artwork. But in the back dining room, where you can have private parties and we have businesses and stuff, that holds about 40 people normally when it's not COVID. These are local artists. This was done by one of the local Marshfield artists, Michael Ragsdale. And we have a lot of his work, and it's for sale. They have the stuff up there for sale, so you can come in
Okay.
and get it. And he does all kinds of nature, has a bunch of different nature animals.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. For those of you who may have a little difficulty seeing it on TV, I see a cardinal there, and I love it in the spring when the cardinals get active, and I hear them. Our neighborhood, we have a lot of trees, and the cardinal will mark off his territory, and he'll hear him chirping here and then over here and then here and then here. He actually marks off his territory. No other male cardinal is allowed in his territory.
Well, I don't know if you've ever had this experience. I didn't grow up where there was cardinals, but we had one year that every time he saw a shadow in my window, he'd beat up the window thinking it was another male cardinal.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally, I looked up how to get him to stop doing that, and it said put a picture. So I put some pictures up, and he stopped and found another window.
Well,
So
there was.
it was the whole season. He made sure that other male, which is his shadow, was not there. So
Nancy, remember when we had a blue jay at our front door that kept seeing himself? He had a flirtatious deal going on big time. But by the way, these this picture and any others that you may see, all these things, it's by approval of the artist and so forth, and it happens to be a local artist. I like his work. That's such subtle shades of color, wonderful blending, and then the blossoms on that bush stand out. I mean, that's just a terrific.
and that's photography on that one. So
It's photography.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, he takes a lot.
I
of
have a friend in Wichita.
And I wish I knew his. Both of these artists have their websites too that they have their.
Well, you might
work on.
send it to me. You've
I'll
got
send
my
you-
information.
Yeah.
Send it to me, and I'll try to put the word out.
But they can come, anytime and look at the different art and purchase purchase it at the cafe for them.
I have a friend in Wichita that I went to high school with who is a retired photographer, and at home in the evening he sets his camera, he tells all these fine settings on a camera. I don't know anything about it, but he takes these pictures of birds that come to the feeder or they're in the bush or whatever while he's sitting on his patio, and then he sends them out by email and Facebook for people to see. But he would love this. His name is Chester Burnett. Hello, Chester, my buddy. He would sit here and he would, in great detail, give what I would consider to be a very intimate description of that photograph, because he has that eye and he knows this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we want to get back here.
And I was going to show you the other one.
Oh
too.
yes, here's the
This
other
is
one.
Christine's Designs, and she's a local artist. And this is one of her smaller ones. She does this abstract work that is absolutely lovely. I love the colors and everything she's done with it. And she has some that are quite a lot larger than this that are just beautiful, and it's just some of the nicest work I've ever seen, and they're all for sale also.
Well, that's great. That's beautiful.
And she's a local artist from Marshfield too. They're both local Marshfield artists, and we have several other local artists. I just couldn't bring up so much.
Well, I hope that they get a chance to see this program and they can see their artwork and their photography on display. Well, again, how many? The phone number is 417-468-2032, and the website is polymathedcafe.com.
Yep.
Facebook is Facebook.com/polymathedcafe.
No, just Polymath Ed.
Just Polymath Ed. And what about YouTube? About the same thing?
The YouTube, I'm not really sure.
Do a little
it's Cooking
searching
with
on it.
ML.
That's what I have to do. I have to search around.
Yeah.
I sit in our writing room. Nancy has a big monitor, and I have a big monitor and a smaller monitor, and I have to search around to find stuff, and people do some searching. Well, in the few minutes that we have left, I want to remind all of those who have any inclination of being a part of Axe Fest. It is July 16 and 17, Thursday and Friday, and there's a schedule that you can find online, Axe Media Group. There's a way for you to register. You must be registered, and registration is $25 per day. You do it through PayPal online, and PayPal will take your credit card. You can indicate there the sessions you want to be involved in. You see everything that's being offered. It's not all that complicated. Just don't be afraid of your computer. If you hit the wrong button, it'll correct itself. Go back and start over. Just do it, because it's coming up just around the corner. And it is very important for you to remember everything we're doing about Axe Fest is being done in accordance with regulations and strong suggestions from the state of Missouri, the Center for Disease Control out of Washington, D.C., Greene County Health Department, and the City of Springfield Health Department. So you'll be tested on the way in, and we're doing this through PayPal because they keep a record of all the information in the event, the unlikely event, that someone, after having been here, would test positive for the virus. They have a way of tracking to let everybody know you were someplace where someone tested positive who was asymptomatic at the time. I hope that's clear enough. If you have other additional questions, you can always email 4321axe@gmail.com, and you can also give a phone call to Matthew Pearson, station manager here, and we've given his number, and hopefully that'll answer all the questions. Anyway, I'll be doing a thing on writing, everything possible that I can tell folks in the space of an hour, and then I'll repeat it another hour in another place in this building, and all about publishing and writing, etc. Now then, young lady, you brought a lot of good-looking food. I'm sure that's not the full repertoire of your menu. Your menu change periodically. You add new things, take things off, and so forth.
Well, we keep the stuff that sells. We have our best sellers that we keep all the time, which is the chili, the pasta salad, the potato salad, the chickpea sandwich, and the tempeh sandwich. And you can add avocado to the tempeh sandwich. There's a lot of people that really like that. And then we make potato soup and a couple other soups. But sometimes we do a barbecued lentil loaf, and we do a lasagna. Those kind of things are more specialty items. We also just recently, we did the fruit and veggie challenge this last month. So people got meal plans for the week, so they didn't have to cook fruits and vegetables, and we made all kinds of different stuff.
All right. Now, Matt, what have we got? About 2 minutes? 1 minute. I can tell you this. Just being open limited hours with the COVID thing going on and the uniqueness that you have in the marketplace, I know you're not doing this to become a millionaire. You are really offering a marvelous service to this entire area of an experience that most people have not had. I really strongly urge you to do what Nancy and I will be doing. We'll be making a reservation to go and experience Polymath Educational Cafe in Marshfield, Missouri. It will, that's going to be a wonderful experience. Real quick, Matt, I can tell you, when I was a vegan and people would say, well, don't you get hungry? And that's no. What do you eat? I said, here's the deal. We have a cookbook with a lot of vegan stuff, all kinds of them. I said, it's like walking into a buffet and you see all this new, beautiful food that you've never experienced. And you have this wonderful experience of eating stuff that is so delicious that you didn't even know existed. It's just another world. And why just live in one world when you can live in two? Go to Polymath Educational Cafe, Marshfield, Missouri, and do it soon. Meantime, this is old Dr. Paul Collins on behalf of my sweet little Miss Nancy and all of our viewers and listeners. I want you to pay close attention to Polymath Educational Cafe, Acts Ministry, Acts Fest coming up. You are very important to us, so important that we'll see you next Friday, same time, same place. Till then, always stay blessed.